So the topic for today is gonna be, does IELTS really matter?
How do we start this even? Because for me, the first idea is if IELTS don't matter, I won't be here. You know, there won't be IFO. So I definitely think it's important because we're all here together because of it. But what do you guys think?
I took the IELTS test 3 times and now I have to defend for this view that IELTS doesn't matter.
Same here. Like 3 times, once, right? 3 times.
I took it like 4.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk.
I took 4.
But you're on the yes side,
Yeah.
so like that makes sense.
What do you guys think?
Well, I would say it depends. Sorry, of course. I have to say it depends on the purpose of the test takers, right? For example, if you have to take the IELTS to apply for a scholarship or a job, that would be really important. It will matter a lot. But like for some casual learners who just want to learn to communicate in English and does not need to be assessed by any institution hay là bị đánh giá bởi một tổ chức nào thì tất nhiên là sẽ không cần đến IELTS làm gì. Người ta học để có thể giao tiếp hàng ngày thôi. Và lúc đấy thì không cần IELTS làm gì cả bởi vì tất cả của IELTS là về tiếng Anh nhưng mà tất cả của tiếng Anh thì có rất nhiều những thứ khác ngoài IELTS. Nên là nếu như mà chỉ học để mà thi và apply cho một cái công việc hay là một cái học bổng nào đấy cần trình độ tiếng Anh, cần chứng thực trình độ tiếng Anh thì tất nhiên là sẽ cần IELTS. Nhưng mà nếu học để giao tiếp, học để khám phá bản thân, học để phát triển bản thân thì em nghĩ là không cần IELTS để làm gì cả.
Em đồng ý là nó depends, tại vì có thể là với các bạn mà muốn học phi công chẳng hạn thì bạn sẽ cần một cái bằng khác chứ không cần phải là IELTS chẳng hạn. Đấy, thế nên là nhưng mà em nghĩ là giống như câu chuyện mà anh Khiêm có nhắc đến ở cái tập 1 mình nói được với nhau ấy về accent ấy, nó là một cái goal để mình hướng tới thì em nghĩ là IELTS cũng sẽ là một cái như thế. Tại vì em có một câu chuyện này là một người chị của em trên đại học thì chị được giải nhất học sinh giỏi tiếng Anh quốc gia, nghĩa là rất là giỏi, và chị có thi IELTS 2 lần thì đều được 8,5. Nhưng mà sau đấy xong khi lên đại học thì chị bắt đầu bảo là mẹ, tiếng Anh của tao tự nhiên dạo này bóp quá, tao nói trên mà kiểu dạo này thấy hơi kém đi một tí. Thế là chị bảo là chị sẽ retake IELTS exam. Em hỏi là chị định lấy lại thì để đi du học hay là làm gì, thì chị chỉ nói đơn giản là không, để sẽ ép mình vào một cái guồng là tôi sẽ phải học lại tiếng Anh căng hơn. Em nghĩ cái đấy nó cũng là một cái khá là hay đấy chứ, kiểu mình sẽ có một cái mục tiêu và với một bài thi có độ khó như thế này thì nó sẽ càng có một cái sức nặng để mình cố gắng hơn.
Nếu câu hỏi ở đây mà là tiếng Anh có quan trọng không thì câu trả lời của chị sẽ là có. Nhưng mà IELTS có quan trọng không thì thật ra là chị sẽ hơi nghiêng về cái phía không hơn một chút. Tại vì là như Khiêm đã nói là với các cái bạn mà quan tâm về vấn đề học thuật đi, nếu mà thi IELTS Academic đúng không? Và là các bạn muốn quan tâm đến định cư hay là du học có thể thi IELTS General thì đương nhiên là cũng sẽ quan trọng với các bạn. Nhưng mà bây giờ là chắc chắn là chúng ta cũng đang thấy là ở Việt Nam đi, ở Việt Nam, cụ thể ở Việt Nam thì chúng ta we're seeing like an idolization of IELTS. We cannot deny that, right? It's very obvious. I'm very confused about the fact that should IELTS be idolized that much? Is English more important? Because IELTS is not like a perfect gauge of English, right? A person can have a very good English. Bino here has a good command of English, but he does not have a perfect IELTS score. But if you meet him in real life and you hear him speak, you feel like, oh, he's like a native. So is IELTS a perfect gauge of English? What do you think?
I've never taken a test, so so I should be saying it doesn't matter. But I feel like the question here, if we ask like, does IELTS really matter? Maybe we're asking the question, does having a choice really matter? Because IELTS is, at the end of the day, it's a choice, you know, and it's a choice that is available readily for everyone who wants to either, you know, go abroad, get a scholarship, or maybe not. Maybe be a comedian, you don't need an IELTS test. But it's still a choice, and I think having a choice matter. The glorification, I agree. But like I said, I feel like it's a human issue, you know, like people created that problem. Like the IELTS test is not created for that. It's not created to be exploited. If people exploit it, it will be exploited. Yeah.
I was about to say, like, when you say about like we have choices and then like it's a human problem, I was thinking about like standardized tests in general, and then like having IELTS as an option because like besides IELTS, what else do we have? We have TOEFL, we have TOEIC and stuff like that, right?
And a lot of other stuff.
yeah, exactly. So I was just thinking to myself like, hey, is the IELTS really the problem, or the test really the problem, or is it like you know, like a standardized test system-ish is the thing that really matters? I feel like. I don't know. I was just like thinking about this, and I was like, I think the problem you're having right now is like a proof for our ability to use English in work, in professional and academic environments, pretty much. And IELTS just happens to be one of the vehicles that does it so well, and that's why people are looking towards it. And then communication is the thing that just kind of blows things up, like making a mountain out of a molehill, and then turning into like some sort of idols, like Nhung has already said. I personally also do not want to idolize IELTS because all of you have already mentioned.
But I'll bring this point. Think about your favorite athletes, for example, or your favorite opera singer, who like can hit really high notes and out of nowhere. You know, I can do it. But the thing is, you know, they are reaching the extremity of ability, right? As an athlete, you're running so quickly, you're faster than the whole world. And people can idolize that because it's an extremity that human race can achieve to that point. So I feel like, why can't we, you know, glorify people who, you know, took the time to practice and to do it? Why can't we? Yeah, right? So I think for the people who took the IELTS test and got a really good score, you know, they put in the work. They train to be athletes, so they should be glorified a little bit. So I think it's not the wrong thing. The exploitation is wrong.
Do you actually praise people with, you know, high IELTS score? Do you?
I love watching them talk. I love listening to them and hearing the tips. That's why I'm here. So, of course, I don't take the IELTS. I haven't taken the IELTS test yet, but yeah.
I actually have a thing to say on that. It's just like, if I say it, I will pretty much like move myself over there. But then, it's okay, I'm just saying. I think it's not about like, I feel like, again, like it's not about idolizing IELTS that's the matter. It's that it is the real matter is that using IELTS as a standard, and then you're trying to judge other people who don't take the IELTS, and you know, like blame them for being like, oh, you may học sinh giỏi stuff. But you don't have like 6.5 IELTS, bash-ish. I think that is the problem. Like for example, idolize an athlete and then look at me and be like, huh, you don't do athletic stuff, like, don't you? It's kind of like that. It's just, people kind of do it simultaneously. Why idolizing people associated with judging people, like judging other people who don't take the IELTS, pretty much.
So have we reached a verdict? Yes, no.
I guess just like.
Okay, I'll ask you guys once again. Okay.
No, it's yes and no.
Okay, yes and no. Okay, one,
yes and no.
Two. It depends on you guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I don't. So I guess just like any other debates that we
just like every other debate.
This one came down to a tie. Okay. Yes and no depends on the context and the purpose.
And also, I think the key word here that Nhung raised, which is glorified. Maybe it shouldn't be glorified. But,
I think that's the key word he said.
Yeah, but it matters.
Okay, anybody.
Yeah, sure. But it does matter a little bit.
Can I add a little bit?
Yeah.
If you met me like say 5-6 years ago, I would raise this like straight away. There's no yes, there's going to be no yes, okay? But now I've changed my mind. Even though I lived in Australia for 6 years, but then I didn't know this until I moved to Australia, that in order to migrate to Australia, some people have to take the IELTS as well. And they require band 7 or even 7.5. I didn't know that. So I was like, to me, because I used to live in Australia, I used to work there, and nobody asked me, do you have an IELTS to be able to work in Australia? Nobody asked me that, right? As long as I can speak English well and I can do my job, that's it. But then once my friend, like this friend of mine told me that they require, I need a 7.0 in order to apply for a, what is it called, PR? Permanent residency. I was like, oh, really? You need the IELTS for that? And he's like, yeah, and even if you want to be a Canadian citizen too, you need to do the IELTS. no less than 7.5, I guess. So yeah, that's why I changed my mind. It's both yes and no. Yes, if you need it. Yes, for people who need it. But not in general. In general, like for people like me, I don't need it.
Okay. I hope you all have also have a conclusion in your mind, and I guess that's the end of the debate now. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.